Right now, Holy Paladin is probably the least changed healer, in my opinion. The least changed healer, in my opinion, in BfA Azeroth. If you enjoy Legion, Holy Paladin, you will probably enjoy at least this version of BfA Azeroth Beta, Holy Paladin. Holy Paladin overview. Oh, do we go Beacon of Virtue? Yeah, we went Beacon of Virtue. Beacon of Virtue is still here, thank God. If Beacon of Virtue wasn't here, I don't know what I would do. Whoa, I'm popping. Whoa, new Aura of Sacrifice. While Aura Master is active, 30% of damage is redirected to you, but it's reduced by 75%. 30% damage reduction is insane, but I feel it's too close to Devotion Aura itself. I honestly feel it's too close to Devotion Aura itself. I really do. I really feel it's too close to Devotion Aura itself. So right now, biggest changes, honestly, there's not that much changes. It really isn't that too much. Biggest things, Holy Shock. Holy Shock right now only has an additional 25% crit effect chance. So, like right now, I have 18% crit on top of 25. I mean, you're not gonna get a crit cap. So, actually, it's funny because in Wowhead they were saying that Infusion of Light is going to be nerfed. The Infusion of Light is not going to reduce the cast time of Holy Light that much or increase like your Flash of Light, but it seems to be the same. I'll try and show it to you. If I ever get a Holy Shock crit, as you can see, it's harder than you think. There you go. Infusion of Light still does the same thing. Reduces the next Holy Light by 1.5 and increases the healing of your next Flash of Light by 40%. So, Holy Shock, much less crit, still the same Infusion of Light. Stacking crit, not sure what's gonna happen there. Not sure what's gonna happen there. But in terms of everything else, there isn't that much besides some of the talents. So you got Avenging Crusader. You can see here I have Avenging Crusader. So basically, you become the Unlimited Crusader. You have to go and attack, use your auto attacks, use Judgment, use Crusader Strikes. It's funny because it does not say, whoa. It's funny because it does not say to use Holy Shocks. So, and also the fact, there is a fact, Judgment has been nerfed. Judgment, instead of on live servers, Judgment, like from what I remember, it's like you judge a target and then your Crusader Strikes and Holy Shocks are increased by considerable amount for like 6 seconds. Right now, I'm gonna judge this target, Judgment right here, and I use Crusader Strike, and Judgment is removed. The Judgment buff is removed. So you can see that you don't get this lasting buff. It means your next Judgment or Holy Shock are going to be more powerful. Your next... This guy is taking a lot of damage. I'm gonna pop Avenging Crusader and I'm gonna go do some damage right now. This is Avenging Crusader. So basically, during the Avenging Crusader, I'm trying to do auto attacks, I'm trying to do judgments. When I do a judgment, I'm trying to use the next ability, Crusader Strike. Because Avenging Crusader, the healing portion does not work off Holy Shock. So I'm presuming because of the changes of Judgment, so I'm gonna try and judge the target right now. Like I would be using Crusader Strike if I'm in Avenging Crusader. So in terms of that, it's like, I mean, it seems like a DPS loss because Judgment seems to be a lot weaker now. If you want to be a Shockadin, Shocking the build is strong. In terms of the talent choices, Judgment of Light has been nerfed. He used to affect the next 40 attacks. Now he only affects 25, so it's almost like a 50% nerf, which seems to be quite big. I was actually wondering, which I haven't tested out yet, whether Avenging Crusader, because it reduces the cooldown of your Judgments as well. Whether that's going to work with Judgment of Light. Whether that's going to work, or whether it's going to be worth using Avenging Crusader with Judgment of Light. I'm still not sure. I still don't think so. Like, as you can see right now, I am testing out Aura of Sacrifice. I'm not liking Aura of Sacrifice. Here, don't get me wrong on this. Aura of Sacrifice right now is basically reducing damage by 30%. Insane. One of the strongest damage prevention cooldowns in the game right now. Insanely strong. But you know what's gonna happen? A lot of the Pug scenarios, damage prevention usually does not show up in damage meters, and you'll see a lot of Pug healers or Pug leaders. They won't care about the damage prevention. They'll be basically looking at healing meters, and they'll be looking at Holy Paladins, and they'll be like, why aren't you doing more stuff, Mr. Holy Paladin, when your rest of Jude is using Tranquility and just, you know, getting much better numbers? So I'm a little scared about that. I can almost see like people going with Aura of Mercy, which is probably going to show up on meters. We have to see how the meter healing is going to look like. So you can see right now how much healing I'm actually doing with my spam here. Judgment spam and Crusader Strike spam. It's not bad. Honestly, it's actually pretty powerful. It's actually really powerful. Honestly, it's actually really, really powerful. Uh-oh. Did I pull the boss? I think I actually pulled the boss. Some healing required now. We're popping aura of Beacon of Virtue, the Savior. But you can see that my Holy Light is really not doing that much. I need to see my beacon. There you go, Beacon of Virtue. My good old friend. My good old friend, Beacon of Virtue. Beacon of Lightbringer has been removed. If you look at tier 100, so you have Beacon of Fate. Beacon of Fate has been nerfed. Beacon of Fate has been nerfed, so it's not as strong anymore. But honestly, the nerf is not that big. So your beacon, but 30% reduced effectiveness. So the beacon is going to be 30% reduced effectiveness. In live service, I think it's 20% reduced effectiveness. So Beacon of Fate has been nerfed. From what I remember, Beacon of Virtue is still the same. And Beacon of Lightbringer is gone, and it's been replaced by Divine Purpose. The whole concept of Divine Purpose is... it feels out of place. I'll be honest with you right now. It really does feel out of place, in my opinion. Like Divine Purpose... among one of the best spells in the game, Beacon of Fate, like, it is a beacon of Holy Paladin healing. I can, like, 2 beacons is a whole thing in raids. It fits the meta. 2 tanks. It works really, really well. Beacon of Virtue is one of the most fun spells, widely used in 5-mans. Really, really fun. And then you have Divine Purpose, which there's nothing wrong with Divine Purpose. It's very random. It doesn't use a deck system or anything like that. It's very random. But it's competing against the Goliaths, you know. It's competing against the Goliaths of Holy Paladin. Holy Paladin healing. And honestly, I don't know. Let's use a set, Avenging Crusader. Avenging Crusader. You can see, actually, I can just DPS and not worry about anything. Yeah, I have to keep in mind that when I judge, I should use it on... when I use Judgment, I should use it on Crusader Strike, because with Avenging Crusader, it doesn't seem to work with Holy Shock. So you see the way the Judgment works? I judge a target, and then I use Holy Shock, it's gone. The Judgment buff is gone. In live servers, that stays for 6 seconds. My Holy Shock, my Crusader Strike, they do more damage. Overall, I'm not sure how big of a DPS loss that's going to be. I don't know what I like. It makes your rotation maybe a little more complex when you're using Avenging Crusader. Avenging Crusader, of course, is the new talent. Well, when I say new talent, it was always there in terms of PvP. It was always there in terms of PvP. Overall, in this build, there isn't that many crazy gameplay changes. Holy Paladin is still relatively the same. Holy Shock doesn't crit that much. And I will go over this actually. I'll see if I can actually change some of the talents. Because right now there's also new talent. Awakening, which is basically... the tank is dying. Awakening, which is basically the Legendary Helm that's been made. It's better than Legendary Helm on the live servers. So I'm gonna try out the proc build. Divine Purpose, the Awakening. Awakening, Divine Purpose. Divine Purpose is RNG, does not use deck system. For the people who don't know what deck system is, basically, if something is using a deck system, there's going to be a guaranteed number of procs. So Divine Purpose, from what I've seen, is not using a deck system. Awakening, the legendary helm in live service, was using a deck system. So Light of Dawn has a 50% chance to grant you Avenging Wrath. Light of Dawn and Holy Shock have 20% chance to not start their cooldown. And also Holy Shock. So this is what I call the RNG healer of Battle for Azeroth. Or the Outlaw Rogue healer equivalent. I don't think this is going to be viable in any way, or shape or form. Honestly, I just feel like so much RNG as a healer on top of the Holy Shock nerfs. Holy Shock doesn't have a really good, you know, you can't cap it. You can't have 100% crit on it. Infusion of Light is still extremely strong. Okay, so the Rogue got a debuff. I'm not sure what that's going to do. I'm still waiting for that wings. I'm still waiting for those wings. Oh, Holy Shock procced. Not getting any loot. Oh, that was a double. Oh, triple. Oh, four. 4 Light of Dawns in a row. This is what I mean by Divine Purpose being extremely RNG. Oh my god. Oh, these are one of those moments like, why didn't I pick Beacon? Why didn't I pick Beacon of Virtue? Why didn't I pick Beacon of Virtue? Why? Why? Single target healing, guys. I feel Holy Paladin without Beacon of Virtue in 5-mans is not the same. I got a wings proc! I got it! I got it! The RNG healer strikes again! It's over. It's over. The wings are gone. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Honestly, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm not a huge fan of the RNG playstyle. I don't think this build is going to be very viable. Maybe like it can be fun. Like, I mean, you can get some crazy procs if you're lucky. But in terms of sustainability, in terms of gameplay, in terms of pushing high keys, I don't see this being as a very strong option. I'm using wings right now. I don't see this being as a very strong option. I mean, this build right here, this RNG build, Awakening, Divine Purpose, could possibly be good for fights like Barry Matches. Continuous AoE damage could possibly be good on fights like that. Like, I mean, Barry Matches, or Mythic Barry Matches or whatever, sees a lot of classes using the RNG helmets, the RNG legendaries. So technically you could see that talent being used there. Overall, there's not that many changes for Holy Paladins yet. It just doesn't feel like the gameplay has been changed a lot. It doesn't feel like the gameplay, like, I mean, as of right now, if you're a Holy Paladin in live and you enjoy live Holy Paladin in Legion, you'll enjoy this because let's be honest. Let's be honest, if you actually end up using Avenging Crusader, Beacon of Virtue in 5-mans, or a Sacrifice of Devotion, or it doesn't really matter. The gameplay is the same. Holy Shock crits less, sucks. Infusion of Light still seems to be the same. Aura Sacrifice has been, in my eyes, has been gutted. Aura Sacrifice to some extent feels very much like Devotion Aura. Aura Sacrifice in Legion, for me, was one of the funniest, not the funniest, one of the most fun spells to use, because it was a skill capped, or there was no skill cap to it. As in, it was, if you don't use it properly, you'll be terrible. You won't get any healing. And if you use it really well, combined with some really nice cooldowns, Aura Sacrifice could do the most healing ever. Right now, Aura Sacrifice is one of those buttons that you press, and you probably heal yourself because you're going to be taking extra damage. Honestly, I understand how powerful it is. I don't like the gameplay associated with it. And if you look at Avenging Crusader does replace Avenging Wrath. If you're playing a Shockadin build, or if you're a Holy Paladin in 5-mans, you know that you have to go in and DPS. Holy Paladin DPS is quite rewarding. So Avenging Crusader is just going to be another, you know, wings that heals. It's going to be wings that heals. Is that going to change your gameplay a lot? I don't think so. I really don't think there's going to be any real changes to Holy Paladin as of yet.